Never has movies on TV been more needed. And good job that we are bringing you movies for every single day of the week. And we're going to kick off with it's probably something that I think might actually fit into a lot of people's diaries for over the next 9 months.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. What else have people got to do but get knocked up?
Exactly. It's so weird. We're going to have a wave of babies who we're going to call Corona babies who are all conceived during the next, month. There's going to be a birth rate surge. But yeah, this is the 2007 Judd Apatow written and directed comedy that pretty much made Seth Rogen, didn't it? This is the film that solidified him. Also,
popularity to the forefront, didn't it? I mean, who could forget that laugh?
Oh, God, I know. I mean, I loved him for The 40-Year-Old Virgin 2 years earlier, but he was a very supporting character in that. Here, he's sort of, lifted up to the limelight a little bit. Alongside Katherine Heigl, they are a couple in their early 20s. For some reason, Seth Rogen is meant to be 23 in this. I know, as really? weird as it sounds, I know. But he wasn't far off at the time.
No.
So, One Night Stand.
Most people have seen this. Yeah, most people will have seen this. And the thing is that it's a great film to revisit again and again and again. It kind of never dates within itself. So, as you say, One Night Stand, she ends up getting pregnant. They're not the kind of typical coupling. And they end up, making it work. And I think it's quite a nice sort of story at the end of it. Very funny, great performances. And it's on ITV2 at 10:45.
So I have something I really need to tell you. Is kind of why I called you. Here goes. I'm pregnant.
Off.
What?
What?
I'm pregnant?
With emotion?
With a baby. You're the father.
I'm the father.
Yes.
How the this happen?
I don't know. I mean, I thought you were wearing a condom.
No.
What?
I wasn't.
Why not?
Because you told me not to.
What are you talking about?
Rogen and Heigl there. Did you know it was Anne Hathaway originally?
Really? I couldn't have imagined it with that.
Apparently she objected to the proposed realistic depiction of the birth. That was apparently a thing.
Of course. But yet she did that terrible film with Matthew McConaughey. Okay.
Yes. Over to Sunday, what you got for me?
Okay, I've got Maiden Dagenham for you on BBC One at 10:30 p.m. Now, interestingly, we saw a movie recently which reminded us of this, which was Misbehaviour. That kind of look and feel and tone of a great British movie, but doesn't quite get to that kind of iconic standard. Now, this is Gemma Arterton and a whole host of stalwart British actors and actresses in this.
What's her name? From The Shape of Water. Who is the Oscar
Sally
winner?
Hawkins.
Thank you. Why was I going to say Sally Phillips? What is wrong with me? Sally Hawkins.
Sally Hawkins.
So Maiden Dagenham. I've got a clip for you of the striking female workers of, I think it's the Ford plant in Dagenham, isn't it?
Yep.
Being visited by a prominent female politician.
Return to work. Go back to your machines. And you have my word, I will push forward with your fact.
No.
Mrs. O'Grady?
No, we need something solid. Something now. You've got the authority. We thought seeing you, we'd...
In politics, you sometimes have to play the long game.
We ain't politicians, we're working women. And so are you.
It's just fun, isn't it? Sally Hawkins really sells it.
Do you know what? It is a really good movie. I think that our expectations of things that really sit in people's minds for a British movie, and this was my kind of issue with Misbehaviour, was that it is good, it's watchable, it's fun, but does it make you want to watch it again and again and again? I'm not so sure, but I'm happy after however many years to actually revisit it this week and just sit and watch, because it is a feel-good film. You learn something a little bit about our past as well, and the workforce was it the 60s? I think it was.
I think it was the late 60s.
Yeah, late 60s. And it's just an interesting story about our sort of a certain time in British history. So interesting to watch. That is on BBC One, as we said before, at 10:30 p.m. Quite a late one for that on Sunday.
Well, I figured they just assume that people aren't going to be getting up early and going into work for the next. Because a lot of our films are quite late evening ones this week. So I presume the TV schedulers are just banking on people having a lay-in every morning.
Absolutely.
So,
Now,
and
listen,
why not?
this next one on Monday, you can talk about this, but this is definitely needs to be late night watching.
It does, and I'll be honest, every time I've watched it, I've needed to lay in afterwards as well. So, it is, of course, the 1998 erotic thriller starring Denise Richards, Nev Campbell, Matt Dillon, and only Kevin Bacon. It's Wild Things, in which a high school girl accuses a teacher, played by Matt Dillon, of inappropriate sexual conduct, let's just say. And this starts an investigation that quickly raises questions of who's telling the truth, who's fibbing, and who's really playing who. Have a little snippet of this.
Maybe there's no physical evidence because nothing happened. You want my gut? There it is. I think she's acting. I think she set it up to be alone with him so that he could come on to her. She's upset because he didn't.
Maybe she set it up that way, maybe not. I mean, if you ask me, the guy never should have had her out there in the first place, period.
Gloria, the line I have on this guy is done half the women in Blue Bay.
That doesn't make him a rapist.
So those are the cops there, led by Kevin Bacon and Cyrus Bean from Scandal. I didn't remember he was in this, but worth checking out.
This is just every teenage boy's like naughty film that they will have watched and told their mates about.
It is, and there is that one scene, and you know which one. There's two
Everyone
scenes.
knows that scene.
Everyone knows those two scenes, and I was 15 when this came out, and it was the most popular thing at school. Yeah, exactly. So over to Tuesday. Oh, hang on, Wild Things is 10:45 on 5-Star on Monday.
Yes, it is.
Let's go to Tuesday then. ITV4 at 9 p.m. Take it away, Miss Perfect.
Well, it's Mel Gibson in one of his finest films. I love this film. This is Ransom, ITV4, 9 o'clock. I mean, Mel Gibson. I just watched a snippet of him in Braveheart, actually, just recently. And you forget, with all the controversy about Mel Gibson, actually, he's really good at what he does.
Mel Gibson's a damn good actor.
Such a good actor. But, you know, this is what, 1995? I'm going to have a quick look at this.
1997 for Ransom.
Oh, it doesn't
95
quite hit
for Braveheart.
There we go. It doesn't quite hit our optimum 90s.
I think he did Conspiracy Theory in between, where like Patrick Stewart was the bad guy. That was in between.
But this is just a fantastic film that I suppose it doesn't like just put him on the map, but he was already on the map, but it just kind of secures him as that Hollywood A-lister.
Well, it's a solid, for the adults, Ron Howard thriller, isn't it? I mean, the basic premise, he's a billionaire airline, owner who's a / pilot whose son is kidnapped by an evil cop played by Gary Sinise, who demands a ransom. And, of course, Mel Gibson takes it, in the direction of this clip.
The whole world now knows my son, Sean Mullen, was kidnapped for ransom 3 days ago. And this is what waits for the man that took him. This is your ransom.
Wait, I want to see this.
$2 million in unmarked bills, just like you wanted. But this is as close as you'll ever get to it. You'll never see $1 of this money, because no ransom will ever be paid for my son. Not one dime, not one penny. Instead, I'm offering this money as a reward on your head.
Good moment there, and that was the trailer, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was indeed. Now, next up, what we've got, so that was the Ransom, if anyone didn't catch it, is on ITV4 at 9 o'clock. Now, Wednesday, middle of the week, The Taking of Pelham 123 on Sony Channel at 9 o'clock. I don't think I've seen this. I've had a look at what it's all about, but I don't think I've ever watched this, so this is definitely on my list.
It's the remake and not the original, because we always have to check that one. So the original, Walter Matthau and Robert Shaw from Jaws. The remake, Travolta's
2009
the villain.
remake. Yep.
Sorry, the 2009 remake, Travolta's the villain. Denzel is the good guy, tasked with sort of talking him down. And James Gandolfini, the late James Gandolfini, is one of his final performances. And it's directed by none other than the late, great Tony Scott. Hostage situation on the New York subway by John Travolta, who is introed in this movie by the camera sort of following him across a crowded street, freeze framing on him, and then playing a very specific lyric from Jay-Z's 99 Problems. All I'm going to say, that is the reason to see the film. There's no clip. That reason is enough.
I thought you'd say that the reason to watch it is John Travolta's very I'd say, 90s-esque sunglasses that he wears as part of the poster.
He goes more 90s in this than he did in Swordfish, and they actually made that in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly. This is 2009, people. But hey, those glasses and that goatee is something else.
Yeah, very much so. So over to Thursday, and we're going a bit topical with this one. I was waiting for this movie to turn up on TV, and it has. ITV2, 9 p.m. on Thursday. It's Steven Soderbergh's 2011 and newly financially successful film, Contagion, for which sales have now shot through the roof, apparently.
Funny, because that strapline is nothing spreads like fear. It's interesting. This is all about healthcare professionals, government officials, and everyday people that find themselves in the midst of a pandemic and looking to find a cure. I mean, could it be more topical as we're shutting ourselves away from outside life?
Exactly. Now, you tell me if any of this clip sounds familiar.
There are stories circulating on the internet that in India and elsewhere, the drug ribavirin has been shown to be effective against this virus. Yet, Homeland Security is telling the CDC not to make any announcements until stockpiles of the drug can be secured.
Well, Dr. Gupta, there continue to be evaluations of several drugs. Ribavirin is among them. But right now, our best defense has been social distancing. No handshaking, staying home when you're sick, washing your hands frequently.
Can you tell us to date how many people have died from this virus?
Very difficult. We're still working on confirming that number. There are 50 different states in this country, which means there are 50 different health departments, followed by 50 different protocols.
Reminder, they released this 9 years ago. And they're talking about the same thing, social distancing, wash your hands, all that stuff. It was properly researched at the time. There's a whole Twitter thread by the writer about, going and researching it and the insight it gave him into our current situation. Great cast, though. Matt Damon, Jude Law,
Kate Winslet,
Lawrence Fishburne as well. Really good movie. Oh, Gwyneth is in there briefly.
Yeah.
And worth seeing. I think it's one of the more terrifying virus films.
Worth seeing if you've not got a current anxiety about the pandemic that's happening right here, because I don't think this will do anything for your stress levels if you do watch it and you are nervous as to how we are at the moment. So but that's just a nice sort of, neighbourly kind of message for you all out there.
From your Uncle Van and your Auntie Bex right there.
There we go.
So how are we going to finish off the week, Miss Perfect?
Well, I think we should finish it off with a little bit of force.
A little bit of the force. Sleepy force, waking up force.
Maybe a little waking
lethargic force.
Awakening. Yeah, we'll wake it up. Yeah.
Wake it up. Okay, so Star Wars The Force Awakens is on ITV on Friday night at 7:30, which is good because I don't think they'll have soaps to fill the evening with. And what's better than a 2015 J.J. Abrams Star Wars movie? This thing kicked ass.
Do you know what? Out of the three, it's three that we've had since, isn't it? It's that one.
Three episodes.
Three episodes. Yeah, we've had 3 episodes since. This is by far my favourite. This had everything you wanted from it, from the nostalgia through to the brilliant effects. The fact that they kept the practical effects in this. This is the one that delivered when the hype was going mental for it.
The flooding tunnel's over that ridge. We'll get in that way. What was your job when you were based here? Sanitation. Sanitation? Then how do you know how to disable the shields? I don't. I'm just here to get Ray. People are counting on us. The galaxy is counting on us. Solo, we'll figure it out. We'll use the Force. That's not how the Force works. Oh, really? You're cold? Come on.
And of course you had Han Solo and John Boyega, and Daisy Ridley and Carrie Fisher, and it was great to see the mixture of the old and the new, and it kind of worked. And people complain that it's a bit remakey of Episode 4, but I don't particularly mind that because it's a reboot, and it's a very good one. It's a very well made one.
It is indeed. And do you know what? I think people are always going to find potholes in it somewhere or other. And actually, do you know what, guys? Just enjoy it for what it is. It's a great movie. It can never be the originals, but it made a damn good go at it.
And it's a hell of a way to finish off the week.